Yeah, but the way he slid it on me went like clean first.
Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small. Way back before we blew it all. Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small. Way back before we blew it all. Too many things going on, I can't keep track of them all. From people dropping a bomb to people putting up walls. I feel like life is on hold, perception stuck in a vault. I know that time can heal all, but how much time till we fall? It's awfully chilly outside when there's no shelter to hide. When everything is a lie, you'll find that out in some time. But when the things on your mind are all considered a crime, communication aside, we'll all just fight till we die. Is this an argument or just the start of it? Either way, I don't wanna be a part of it. Can I just get some space? I don't have the heart for this. I can't be picking up the pieces, fixing scars from this. Is this an argument or just the start of it? I wanna drive away so I can be so far from it. I wanna find a place where no one breaks their promises. Or maybe drown myself in something that is bottomless. Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small. Way back before we blew it all. Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small. Way back before we blew it all. I know that things seem bad, but they could be much worse. There's always someone else who has a greater curse, a greater thirst, a hunger, pain, and mercy. Just find whatever you got and try to be thankful first. I wanna feel again, I need a couple friends. I never really understood just how the story ends, but I can feel it's tense, don't know the consequence. The volatility of life, my only confidence. Is this an argument or just the start of it? Either way, I don't wanna be a part of it. Can I just get some space? I don't have the heart for this. I can't be picking up the pieces, fixing scars from this. Is this an argument or just the start of it? I wanna drive away so I can be so far from it. I wanna find a place where no one breaks their promises. Or maybe drown myself in something that is bottomless. Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small. Way back before we blew it all. Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small. Way back before we blew it all.
This is the value of wrestling, the revolutionary force in wrestling podcasting.
It's your boy Miguel Z with the Value of Wrestling New Japan Rebound Podcast. I've got a guest for you folks at StocktonCon.
What up, everybody? AJ Kirsch here, the voice and the host of StocktonCon. The value of wrestling is awesome, so subscribe on YouTube. Scan the QR code right here, now. Subscribe, check it out.
There we go.
You'll be glad you did.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, that's what. Hey, man, shout out the Value of Wrestling. I'm right here with the Big Oos, San Jose. We done shut the shit down. Love and respect, though, right? Value of Wrestling. Hello.
Man, thank you, brother. Thank
Oh, you didn't know? Well, you better know now, because ladies and gentlemen, we're back. We're back with a little bit of your SmackDown post-show review. That's not... Why are we doing this? Need to fix this. That looks tacky. And we are on SmackDown. This is your post-show review for March 29th. Sorry we're on the delay. I'm a little scattered brain at the moment. There are still things that are not quite the way they should be. Yay. Okay, well now they went. Okay, as long as I don't put my mouse on them. Okay, don't. Yeah, great. Nope, can't do that. Let's see here. Nope. God damn it. That's not the button I want. Oh boy. Son of a... Anywho, gentlemen, tell me about what you feel about SmackDown, why I fixed the situation.
Man, that was an interesting show. Definitely did not see the ending happening the way it happened, and obviously we'll get to that when we get there. But Raw had some interesting surprise. Tonight, not quite the same level, but I thought the ending was still really good and really interesting.
I was gonna say the debut of a certain individual felt big, but when we get to that was for me, that was the highlight of the night.
All right. Anyways, this is your SmackDown post-show review for March 29th, 2024. What a hot SmackDown we got after a crazy Monday Night Raw. Everybody calling it the return of the Attitude Era. I don't know about all that, but SmackDown definitely felt important, felt good, and felt hot. What a great night for professional wrestling this was. But let me introduce you to the co-host of this show. First, the one, the only. And of course, you know him, the New Japan Pro Wrestling expert. Let's go, and you know me. I'm the big time, and we're all here together to give you the very best show. And we are going to do that here in just a second. My brain's scatterbrained. I'm out of all the technical issues we had today. No fun. Anywho, we are here. We're going to cover SmackDown. Good show, solid show throughout. And yeah, I think tonight showed up Tony Khan for sure. How you debut somebody. I think I said this kind of off air basically. I don't think WWE's worried. A lot of people are out here, Triple H messed out on Will Ospreay. Triple H should have got Will Ospreay. They didn't want Will Ospreay because they didn't know he was good on a mic. And I sit here and I go, well, maybe they just didn't want Will Ospreay. And there's nothing wrong with that because AEW does seem to be buying the stars. Again, Tony Khan playing WCW, he's buying names to put on his product, hoping it's going to bring eyes to his product. Where WWE sitting over here going, okay, you can go buy stars. We're going to create stars. I mean, look at where we are with Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, his buddy whose name is totally Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. There we go. They're big. Lexus King, look what he's done. Shawn Spears has returned to WWE. Andrade looking like he's going to get a nice big return. WWE's making stars. And a lot of the younger talent in NXT looking hot. Wesley, Trick Williams, Braun Breaker, Tiffany Stratton, who just came up to the main roster. WWE feels to be focused on making stars, where Tony Khan seems to be dropping the ball. He's buying stars. He's buying names. Not necessarily that they're moving any needles in any particular way. It doesn't seem to be working for him in the long run. But you look at AEW, you go, who's the stars of the future in AEW? And you can look at WWE, and you can probably list, 10 right now off the top of your head of future stars for WWE. And they proved it tonight because, oh boy, did WWE show it like it should have been tonight.
Can we circle back though for just a second?
Go ahead.
You had mentioned Tiffany Stratton, and tonight on SmackDown, they put a wonderful video package together for her.
Mm-hmm.
They incorporated her original character in NXT, where she was kind of the daddy's rich girl, and they continued up to where she is presently. The short time she's been on the main roster, she's had an evolution. Imagine what she's going to be like in 5 years. Hell, 1 year from now, let alone 5. They're doing so good building Tiffany.
Money.
AEW bought a star, brought her on TV, and she just hasn't felt like she's lived up to what the money they are paying her for. WWE got Tiffany Stratton and making her feel like $1 million. And tonight, took one of the biggest names that AEW did have and made her look priceless.
Perfect word.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, we opened the show.
I was hyped for that.
Yes. And it wasn't really, it was kind of there, but we weren't officially aware that it was going to happen tonight. But yeah. Okay, Kat, you're gonna join the show now. Are we here? You make a choice. You're gonna stay, go. But we opened up with all the important stuff. We saw the people come in, and we opened with the Randy Orton Kevin Owens versus Pretty Deadly match. Really, there wasn't a match. It was a decent match between what you expected with Kevin Owens, Randy Orton pretty much dominating Pretty Deadly. Out from under the ring came Logan Paul. He knocks out Kevin Owens with the brass knuck. This match went 7 minutes, 2 seconds, so it wasn't a very long match. He knocks him out. Pretty Deadly gets a big win here, even though it was by nefarious means. And then Randy Orton climbs in the ring because he was fighting them outside the ring and then realizes that they something happened. He looked pissed at Owens at first, and then when he watched the video screen of the replay, he realized what Logan Paul had done, and they found Logan Paul up under the ring, pulled him into the ring. Pretty Deadly came back in to break it up and wound up getting a stunner, or a KO stunner, and a RKO for their efforts. Fun way to open the show, continuing the storyline with Logan Paul, giving Pretty Deadly a win here over two big names. So, I mean, it's something. It may not have been the greatest way to do it in some people's eyes, but it was something. Mr. Clarke, what did you think of this opening part of the show?
I thought this was fantastic that Pretty Deadly got a win here, because they've kind of been on, like, okay, so the characters have been gotten over just fine. The character work. You could see they have in-ring ability, but if you're not getting wins, you're just going to be looked upon as foolish, and no one's going to care. Even though it's by nefarious means, you care that they actually have a win over two singles main eventers.
Yes. No.
Now, I'm sure they're going to, after sometime post WrestleMania, they're going to have another match, and they're going to get that loss back. But it gives them something to do. It gives us something to look forward to post WrestleMania. We already know what's happening at WrestleMania pertaining to match buildup and whatnot.
Well, I don't know.
Like this. Good.
I was going to say, I don't know if you're going to have Kevin Owens and Randy Orton working together after WrestleMania. I think this is just showing they can work in the teamwork to take out Logan Paul. Because, I mean, once that match is over, do they really have... I mean, they could build and make them a next tag team, but I don't know if it's necessarily the right direction.
In either way, in any event, my point is that Pretty Deadly need this win. They got it. They got where it doesn't hurt Kevin Owens or Randy Orton.
No.
So I'm definitely not mad at it.
It's a bigger win for the Pretty Deadly. It was a nice little pop there to get them feeling like, okay, they got something to claim. They got something they can stand on some ground there for. Mr. Z, do you want to add anything, or are you zoning out? Are you worried about running 300 miles? I mean, 30 miles, whatever the miles are tomorrow? Yeah?
No. I was going to say, this is one of those cases. This is one of those, the best case scenario where it doesn't hurt your main eventers to take the loss. You give Pretty Deadly, who has been the running joke of things lately, a big win, and you continue on with where, Logan Paul left off with KO and Orton.
Very, very much so. From there, Io Sky talks about how Bayley formed damage control to leech off of them, and one of those vignettes where they translated made her look really good. She had a great vignette here. A really awesome moment to get Io Sky kind of on her own, but feeling important as she goes into this match with Bayley. From there, the biggest moment of the night happened. Nick Aldis comes out in the ring looking great, and the newest member of the SmackDown roster has been debuted, and it's Jade Cargill, and good God almighty. She came out looking at like $1 million. I mean, the entrance was 20 times better than what they did for Mercedes Moné. Sorry, you can hate that all you want. You can be the biggest AEW mark, and you can think Mercedes Moné is the greatest thing in women's wrestling, and she is a great women's wrestler, but I'm sorry. The Jade debut blows out everything Mercedes Moné did. The way they debuted her, Jade Cargill, without really having to say too much, not doing too much, blew it out of the water. The music felt right. The imagery looked like them shutting down the lights and presenting her in the way they did. Mercedes Moné didn't even get a tenth of that, and still running on a theme song that what I've understood, most people, even hard marks, are kind of like, this song doesn't fit Mercedes Moné. Hopefully, when she releases her album, because she's supposedly working on an album with uncle or cousin Snoop, hopefully she'll use her own music. But for now, I'm not a fan of her music, and I don't think many people are. But oh my God, Jade Cargill went from being something that could have been really special in AEW to being simply name drop on WWE TV for 6 months now, I think. She's just kind of been there. We never knew when they were going to drop her. We saw her at the Rumble. She made a great impact, and now, boom, tonight she makes her official SmackDown, debut as official member of the SmackDown roster, and feels like a freaking, I mean, she came out, entrance music hit, entrance music popped. She felt, priceless. I mean, again, that's just the word for her tonight. Jade Cargill was priceless. Mr. Clarke.
And here's the thing. So as she was coming out to her WWE theme, I turned the internet on and I went back to listen to her AEW theme. It's definitely tweaked differently, but it's similar enough. I was like, okay, you can see how it fits her. But WWE still did it better. Even the music. I was just like, wow, I was very amazed.
Mr. Z.
Well, first
I
off,
know
like I said,
you're.
they made it so much. Go ahead.
I know you're fixated on tomorrow. Your brain keeps running survival for tomorrow.
I'm fine. Get off my case. I was gonna say, first off, Nick Aldis looking as about as professional as you can look at as a GM. Made it a big deal. A good introduction. Comes out. I was gonna ask you, did she still sting snow? As far as the presentation? Because it was snowing in her entrance.
Well, see, now you're going to start all the hard marks that
That was
WWE, that WWE is using Sting Snow to get Jay Cargill over. Now you're going to circle up that. Great. Now we're going to have another Twitter
We stir
war.
him up enough on X, so I ain't going to go there.
Oh, we're gonna stir him up on Sunday because we're going to debut the official first song for Value of Wrestling, the first music video vignette, whatever we're going to call it.
But going back to what we were saying, Jay Cargill, priceless as you said, came out, felt incredible. The crowd was completely behind her. Didn't even have to speak very much. Stood in the ring, looked great. How you present a debuting superstar. Yeah, she came out the Rumble, but the way they did this, Tony, I hope you're holding a case of beer right now because it's just making you look like trash.
No, they did. I mean, if you look at Jay Cargill, they brought her out in the Rumble. They gave her that big moment with Nia Jax, made you just want more. They gave you a taste enough of the Rumble that it kept her going. And now we're going to see her show up because now we know what she is, and we'll get to that going into WrestleMania. Obviously, we see what the storyline's being there, but Jay Cargill coming out looking priceless. The entrance music, I mean, WWE looked at Mercedes Moné debuting on AEW and probably went, oh, that's nice. Good try. And, this is why Tony feels like a mark. Eric Bischoff kind of coined the phrase as a money mark, but I mean, he threw money at Mercedes, let her go out there, and it's like, you spend the money, but you don't give the presentation. I mean,
Mr. Clarke dances better than Mercedes at this point.
Woo! Well, Mercedes hasn't got any new moves since she was Sasha Banks, so I don't know what to tell you. But even watching the vignettes of her in New Japan Pro Wrestling, she felt 10 times more serious than she does in AEW. I'm sorry. And I guess maybe that's my setup
true.
because I watched her, the way she talked, her attitude, her mannerisms in New Japan on the clips I've seen, and when I saw her come to AEW, I didn't see any of that. I just saw this, yay. I mean, it's like, I'm here. I'm going to change the world. And I'm just like, this Mercedes Moné is going to change the world. I think AEW dropped the ball in that first presentation. It didn't make her feel important. She came out, you're like, cool. She played like she was Sasha Banks. She talked like, yay. And you're just kind of like, And it was relevant because you saw it when they went out of Boston. She got cheered in Boston, but the very next city, that's when they went to Toronto the next week, she didn't get the same pop. And like I said, they haven't presented anybody in that strong light that's been over there. I mean, Ospreay just automatically does it because he's got the huge outfit. But again, I'm getting worried Tony Khan's going to run that in the ground. I don't know, but either way,
he's going to kill that aura that Ospreay has. Ospreay walks in the room and commands attention. And
that's definitely something.
We're done.
Uh-oh. Yeah. And that's definitely something we're going to review more on Sunday afternoon at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time right here on the Value Wrestling when we do the weekly roundup, because we'll be discussing all that and some other stuff that's going around. So make sure you come back here for that. So we'll get back to SmackDown before we get off on too many tangents.
You should have heard me on Tuesday.
Nick Aldis runs into Isla Dawn and Alba Fire. Isla Dawn and Alba Fire. Isla Dawn and Alba Fire. Those names shouldn't all be okay. Anyways, that's a mouthful.
Dawn and Alba Fire.
Then he walks away from them. He walks into AJ. AJ asks if LA Knight's here. Aldis says he told him not to come. He said you should have told him. Or Aldis told him, what was it? Aldis says he asked Knight to not be here. Styles you should have told him not to be here, not asked him not to be here. So you got to word that. Aldis said I asked him not to show up. AJ wanted him to tell him not to show up. This leads us to our first not our first tag team, but the first of the tag team qualifier matches. Austin Theory, Grayson Waller versus Street Profits. Winner of this gets in that multi-man ladder match at WrestleMania. This one was an easy read. I think I called this last week. We got the startup. I do not know what the heck the Street Profits were wearing. I don't know if they took Adam Rose's bunny suit and shredded it up and put it on their outfits tonight. Because and of course he had not Montez, but Dawkins had the white gloves on, so it looked like he really stole the bunny outfit for a moment there. But anyways, they come out and they're wrestling the young boys, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. Eventually the screen comes up and Bobby Lashley. Before the match, they show Bobby Lashley with BFAB, who's BFAB, and the Street Profits backstage talking about this match. Then when they were in the middle of the match, they cut in, and Bobby Lashley and BFAB were both down on the ground. And that would be the last time you see BFAB for the night. So I don't know, somebody needs to call the local ER and find out if she's okay, because last we saw her, she was laying on the ground. Anyways, Bobby Lashley and BFAB are laid out. We see Karrion Kross with a bottle of bubbly, giving it to Scarlett, saying, Bobby, you shouldn't be drinking on the job, basically. The Street Profits are distracted. They go in. AOP shows up and takes them out, allowing Austin and Theory and Grayson Waller to get the win here. And Austin Theory and Waller are going into the ladder match like we predicted. I mean, I pretty much predicted this. Probably going to see Karrion Kross and the AOP versus the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania in some faction, maybe in a street fight rules. Who knows what we'll see in this match. That's all I can assume. That or will be held over to after WrestleMania, which I don't know if that's a good idea. We will have to wait and see. Gentlemen, do we have any thoughts we want to add to this? Because I know there wasn't much here. It was pretty much just building a story. You get Grayson Waller and Theory through without really hurting the Street Profits here. Even though I don't think the Street Profits are really anywhere. They're really in a limbo stage. Winning or losing, I don't think does anything for them. Unless it was a really big win. That would help them, but Austin Theory and Grayson Waller not a big win.
Profits lost. The way the Profits lost, I think, is what hurt them tonight, because Angelo Dawkins got distracted by the video of BFAB and Bobby Lashley being laid out. So he went to go up towards the Tron, and then runs back only after Montez gets pinned. I'm like, make up your mind. Was it more important to go backstage and help Bobby Lashley, or was it more important to stay in the match the way Montez did? Either
it did make him
fine, but it made him look stupid.
Yes, it did. Exactly.
He was indecisive about it.
And of course, we got the post-match beatdown. Bobby Lashley came down and Karrion Kross came down. I'm sure we're leading into WrestleMania. Anything else we want to add to this? I mean, it's a story. It's there. There's just not a whole lot to.
It's just there. I got nothing to add for this one.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad other than the Street Profits looking stupid, but it wasn't a bad setup or a bad match. I mean, this is what we kind of called for last week. I don't want to make people think we're like crapping on it. It was just, there wasn't much to it. It wasn't really a match that had to happen. It was just trying to explain everything.
Just a quick note on Karrion Kross. Did anyone see that video of him breaking a bat? It's been all over X lately. He's showing off his jiu-jitsu skills and breaking a bat in half with a rear naked choke.
We'll have to see we will have to see what he brings to the table with that one. We look back at Dominic showing up last week because Santos Escobar basically called him to show up, as we found out, and allowing Santos to beat Ray last week. And so here is Legado del Fantasma. Santos Escobar is here to brag about his win last week. He was hoping for Ray's knee to get infected and amputated, but he'll settle for getting the win. He invites Dominic out. Escobar says Dominic was right, and they become buddies. This cues the LWO with Rey Mysterio. They come out, they have a conversation, they, chit chat back and forth. Ray thought he was done with his son. This is interesting. I didn't see this direction in this whole idea. So Ray challenges Dominic and Escobar to a tag team match at WrestleMania with Ray and a partner of his choosing. I almost thought they were going to bring Andrade out for this, but then I totally had forgotten. The other new talent that AEW did have and couldn't show enough love to get him to stay, who went over quickly to WWE and has become a huge star, the newest member of the LWO, Dragon Lee. So now we're going to get Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee against Dominic and Escobar at WrestleMania. So, good setup here. And it's another match. Everybody's getting on the card for sure. We got one more week of shows before WrestleMania hits. And we will get into that in a few more. But yeah, no, good setup here. Any comments, gentlemen?
The way this is going, the way this was set up, I will not be surprised that if Andrade winds up becoming a part of the LWO at some point. I mean, I'm sorry, not the LWO. I'm sorry, Legado.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they teased the story with Dominic.
Yeah.
LWO just added a new member with Dragon Lee. I'm like, how are they going to rebalance it?
Yeah, it's going to get interesting. Of course, there was an interesting moment there that I thought we were going to get something funky because, like, Dragon Lee nearly stepped backwards onto Carlito. I didn't know if Carlito was standing behind him to attack him or if Dragon Lee was just in the wrong position. It looked like, it was interesting there for a second. From
Carlito,
there,
once again, not wearing an LWO shirt. I don't know why that bugs me so much, but it does.
And they have one made specifically for where he's from, which would make sense to me.
Exactly.
for Puerto Rico, as Dominic told the midget one, the one with the hair, and then the one that's not even Latino. If you didn't catch that, the other Puerto Rican. Anyways, from there, we saw Naomi with Bianca Belair, getting Bianca Belair hyped up. Bianca Belair is like, oh, I get it. We got to go with feet damage control. I got to quit worrying about Bayley. Whoopee. Yay. Cool. I don't know. These women, they're okay, but I don't think they didn't feel as important until the end of the night. Suddenly, they felt important. Like, in this little thing, you're just kind of like, yay. Naomi felt like a cheerleader to Bianca Belair. I waited for them to pull out pom-poms and start going, somebody call your mama.
Oh, no.
Here's what I will say about that little vignette. I actually, with her working with Naomi, I actually am starting to like Bianca a little bit more than in the past.
Yeah.
Just having her have someone to bounce off of, I think makes her a little bit more likable, in my opinion.
Yes. Anyways, we go to the Judgment Days, locker room, dungeon room, royal room. I don't know what they're in anymore. Their makeshift locker room, I guess. Rhea's asking who let Dom go out there, and then Damien's questioning Rhea like, what? You're not in control of your boy. Dom shows up and says he had to do it, trying to explain that he was trying to prove himself and make the Judgment Day look good. He needs to go see a doctor, so JD leads him out to a doctor. Damien and Rhea kind of get into it some more. Rhea kind of looks, I don't know, it was just a weird look for Rhea, who looked very worried about the Judgment Day collapsing. I think we're going to see this. I think we may get a Damian Priest cash in at WrestleMania. I'm feeling like we're going to, either that or Rhea's going to lose her belt and then steal his briefcase. I don't know. I don't know how something funky is going to happen at WrestleMania with this money in the briefcase. Something, and Judgment Day is about to end. I mean, you can see the ending of Judgment Day finally on the walls. It is coming. Learn to accept it. Learn to like it.
Whether you like it or you don't like it, learn to love it.
Anyways, the other tag team qualifier for the 6-man, multi-man, 10-man, how many ever men, we don't know, because, we could add 2 more teams before WrestleMania starts. Or at the moment the match is starting, we can add, because we've done that before,
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's a New Catch Republic versus Legado del Fantasma. Unfortunately, the only thing that's really sad about Legado del Fantasma is that Angel and Humberto, when they first brought them back, they looked awesome, but all of a sudden they just look like they're going back into what they used to be. Like, they don't have that same impact when they first came out to be the new members of Legado del Fantasma. They've kind of stepped back from feeling like we were all like, they're awesome. Now I'm just kind of like, nope, they're just back to being those guys that, you know, soon they'll probably be selling timeshares also, and we'll all be like, yay.
Oh my God.
Hopefully not, because Redact is no longer there, and he doesn't find the cheap pop in that.
Okay.
If you don't know who Redacted is, I don't know what to tell you. Bates gets over for a second tag. We get the Birmingham Hammer gives Dunn the pin, 7 minutes, 19 seconds. Good solid match, but we knew the new catch was going to go in this, so we have a great. I mean, it's going to be a hell of a tag team ladder match. You got Judgment Day defending the tag team titles. You got the Awesome Truthful in there. You got DIY in there. You now have the new catch Republic and Grayson Waller and Austin Theory and a New Day. So yeah, somebody's going to die.
Real quick, because my wife was sitting there watching it with me. She's already made her call for this match. She says DIY is walking out with straps.
Yeah, no,
This is her
DIY is
take on this one.
DIY is winning this. If you look at all the teams in there, New Days doesn't need the titles. Grayson Waller and Austin Theory are not there yet, but could be a great feuding tag team for DIY maybe. But it seems like this is going to be a big day for DIY in that hiding moment. I fully believe that. And we'll get more into that on Sunday when we give our actual predictions for WrestleMania. Be ready for Sunday. Sunday might be a long show. There's a lot to go over on Sunday, so I hope everybody's ready for Sunday. Sunday, even if they ran 30 miles on Saturday, they better be ready for Sunday.
Hey, look, I will be in here hobbled up with an ice pack on me. I'll be ready to go at noon.
Yeah.
Stop making fun of me. I already got fired once today.
Sunday.
I wasn't making fun of you. I didn't.
Today.
I didn't.
Where's that coming from?
I know. I forgot what you said now. That's how bad it was that I blew it off.
I said, "Who wants a new shirt?" And I get fired. I'm like, "Well, I knew that was coming." That was due.
Well, because it was the shirt that you wanted. You know, well, the only new shirt we should have is the one that says #Tampon Bucks with the Value of Wrestling logo on it.
Someone is actually really working on that right now. So that's
Right on.
a good thing.
We get a review of The Rock's beatdown with a little extra footage. I don't know why they gave us like the extra 5 seconds of footage of Rock spanking Cody Rhodes with the belt. Like, I know like they showed a lot of it on YouTube and Twitter and X or whatever. It was out there, yes. And, you know, they were making a big deal about it. But I was like, once I saw it, I'm like, all we did was spank him one time. What was the extra like, no, you don't tell me when to quit on The Rock. What? And you're like, why didn't you, like, throw him over the barricade off air? That would have been more impactful. Like, whack him with the belt and throw him over that barricade that you kept teasing us with. And, of course, John Cena and Stone Cold Steve Austin were on the truck in the back that they were showing on the screen. It's this big Easter egg that we should all be watching for. I don't know. Are we really going to have John Cena and Stone Cold Steve Austin out here with The Rock? Maybe Austin would be good, but I don't know. It's getting ridiculous. I am waiting for the Rock CM Punk face-off because Punk did talk about The Rock, and I don't think The Rock's going to let that go. So I'm interested in what may happen on Raw on April 1st. Who is going to be the Punk on April 1st on April Fool's Day? Anyways, AJ Styles was coming out to the ring. He says he should have had LA Knight locked up last week and blames the crowd for it all. Styles doesn't buy that Knight isn't here and thinks he might be the cameraman. That's a no, but here's someone coming through the crowd. That's not Knight either. One of the security guards is Knight, though, and even though Styles sees him on the Titantron, they beat down anyways, and he bails out. Continuing the feud, this will be a great match, but it's kind of like, they got a good story, but it's just like, I don't know, not that hyped. I mean, it'll be a good match, yes, but it's just kind of like, I don't know where you go with these guys after this match. It's just really a match just to kind of keep these two guys busy, to keep them out of, you know, main event pictures or some of the other pictures because they don't have anything else to do. Styles, we get the OC together again. Can we get the OC feeling important in some way or form? Please. That is where I am with that.
One can hope.
Anyways, from there we got a very beautiful package on Tiffany Stratton. as we talked about earlier. And then it was announced next week will be the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and Elektra Lopez will take on Zelina Vega next week also. So we got the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal on SmackDown, and then we have Zelina Vega versus Elektra Lopez. And I always want to say Carmen Electra, but that just, shows time period of life. It's Elektra Lopez. Why did we make noise, my computer? Hey, cool beans. Everything good? We are running. All right.
Yeah, we're up still.
So that's next week. And of course, next week is going to be a very confusing time for us. I do not know if we will do a SmackDown review next week. I don't know what the juggling is going to be, because right after SmackDown is going to be the Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Mm-hmm. But I don't know for us on the West Coast what time that actually airs. Will it be after SmackDown here, or will it be after SmackDown on the East Coast? So that would be like...
Probably check on Peacock.
Yeah, I will. I just haven't had the time because I was watching SmackDown and they made that announcement. I'm like, okay, so if they do that, then it'll be weird because we'll be doing the Hall of Fame ceremony. So we'll probably be, if it's going on after that and it's live on Peacock at that time, then we'd probably be watching the Hall of Fame ceremony before we see SmackDown. So that may not adjust us. We'll have to look into that, and we'll let you know later if we're going to have a SmackDown review and what's going on with that. If we do, it'll probably be a mixture of SmackDown with the Hall of Fame, because it is it's a good Hall of Fame class. Yeah. And then, I mean, Paul Heyman. I mean, who wouldn't want to sit and listen to Paul Heyman talk? I mean, people pay for that. So, I mean...
Yeah.
Anyways, the main event, Bianca Belair versus Dakota Kai. And a good solid match here for both these women. But more or less, the story is... Okay, that's what I was looking for. A good solid match. It went 9 minutes, 26 seconds. Belair grabs a suplex and then hits the KOD. Dakota Kai taking another loss here. It's not horrible, but hopefully she gets to come back in some form or another. Belair coming out the winner. Eventually Damage Control comes down and beats her down. This brings out Naomi. Naomi comes down to help out. She gets beat down. Then Belair gets back up. And she gets beat down on the 3-on-1. And then the music hits. Everybody goes nuts. Everybody was calling for Bayley, but no, we got Jade. Jade comes down and takes all three women out. Shakes out Dakota Kai with a vicious powerbomb. That looked very impressive. Took out Kairi Sane with her with the Amazon slamming away, and gave a nasty big boot to Asuka. There's a little greenness that was still obvious and a little bit of that, but I mean, she hit a beautiful power bomb on Dakota Kai. I mean, that was beautiful.
That was nasty.
Yeah, it was good. And they made Jade Cargill look like $1 million. And I've heard people and saw the tweets that people are calling it the female version of the Shield. You could almost make a comparison slightly there because they look pretty badass with Bianca Belair, Naomi, and Jade Cargill. Standing in the center, looking like she could be the female version of Roman if they wanted to build her like that. Yeah. Mr. Clarke, Mr. Clarke, your thoughts on this match?
The match was cool, but like you said, it was the story afterwards that was really the main event.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I enjoyed Dakota Kai. Bianca Belair's with working with Naomi, and I guess now Jade, is starting to worm her way into my heart a little bit. But damn, I did not see Jade coming out. You expected Bayley to come out because that is the feud with Io Sky and with Damage Control.
Yes.
But it was Jade. And
no.
This is how, in her debut, Jade looks so much better than Mercedes just because they showed you. Okay, let me kind of back up a little bit. Her, coming to the ring in her original vignette, like, okay, yeah, she's here. She's, we have the best roster, but no one's Jade. Gotcha. Generic, promo to me. But now, when you add that to what happened afterwards tonight, after the main event, like, oh, we're gonna give you one. She's gonna be with partners at some point, whether it's short term or long term, whatever, doesn't matter. The point is, they gave us something to bite into, to invest in. That is what we needed in AEW. That's what we needed in Mercedes. They gave you that with Jade. In night one, there's no question. There's no, oh, rah-rah speech and we're going to rinse and repeat next week. No, we know what's happening. That Damage Control and these three ladies are going to go at it at some point, and it's going to be good. Because all three can perform. Well, if you really want to go about it, all six can perform.
Oh, yeah.
And that gets me excited.
Well, and they took Jade Cargill, and she did come out and say something interesting that we didn't touch on. She did come out and said, we have the best women's roster here.
Mm-hmm.
She made a statement, whether you want to take it as a slight, whether Triple H had anything to do with it. You had Mercedes Moné talking about how AEW has the best women in the locker room. Well, Jade Cargill showed up and made it feel like maybe WWE is as. It felt like a big important moment. But no, Jade Cargill then came out and looked as important as they made her because she cleared out everybody. She took out 3 women. So they took her from being would be mediocre to pretty much being on the level of, you could almost throw her in the main event after they showed. I mean, these Damage Control has been the main event pretty much outside of Rhea Ripley, Io Sky's women's champion. I mean, Jade Cargill just stepped into that light to be on that level to get in the ring with them, and I guess we're gonna get the female version of the Shield versus Damage Control at WrestleMania. I'm sure this is where we're going. We'll see what happens after WrestleMania, when Jade Cargill has a stand on her own, but this is going to be good to keep her in a trios. And maybe they're going to team her with Bianca Belair or Naomi to keep them together so they can go for like a tag team title to keep her, get her on TV, let her show what she can do, but still keep some of her greenness covered because she is still great. Even though she was in AEW, she wasn't in AEW that long, and she was still very green in AEW, and they didn't really do much except try to give her the quick smash matches and kind of do a Goldberg-esque feel there, but never really got lit. And then when she jumped ship, Triple H and all of them have been working with her, so they believe she's ring ready. But I know there's still going to be some things there, and I definitely think we'll see them continuing with this going. Anything you want to add, Mr. Z?
Yeah. First off, it's almost like they told her go in there, grab the smallest girl you can, and just drive her to the ground. That pop-up power bomb was beautiful. You couldn't do it any better. You go in there, you have her look stronger than everybody else, and then you're going to partner her with Naomi and Bianca. That's a decent learning tree to be with.
Yep.
So, I mean, the direction they have her going in right now, I've got no complaints. I'm looking forward to seeing what's next.
Yep. Well, and I got the AEW version of Jade Cargill sitting right here because they haven't made her a WWE action figure yet, but she's back here on the show. So big name stars. So, any final thoughts, gentlemen, on tonight's show?
I've got nothing. I really don't. Good show. Damn good show.
No, it was a damn good show. It was a good, solid show. Building in, we have one more week left, and then we're going to be WrestleMania bound. We will be doing a weekly roundup this Sunday, so be back here for that. We'll be covering everything in AEW, WWE, everything going on in the world of professional wrestling. Mr. Z will give you a brief taste, a tidbit, a sampling of what is going on in the New Japan Pro Wrestling Rebound podcast as we do the roundup
sad? There's
podcast.
Nothing going on right now.
Well, then you're going to have to dig, or you're going to have to teach the history of some of these names that are out here.
I will.
To give a flavor.
I will.
Of course, we'll talk on the roundup. What's coming up on this week's Raw? We know that it's April 1st, and Rock's going to be on Raw. And then Dynamite has decided, Tony Khan has decided to announce that he's going to present the Battle of the Wills. He's going to put Will Hobbs, the powerhouse Will Hobbs, against Will Ospreay. And, yeah, I know Mr. Z wants to sit there and ball because it's a match where Mr. Hobbs is going to get fed to Will Ospreay in this, so I don't get why there's a Battle of the Wills. That's where I get frustrated. Is it really a Battle of the Wills if you're not...
Don't, no.
And if you don't understand, we all know, well, at least my boys do. I know a little bit because they've shared with me. Powerhouse Hobbs is a Bay Area boy and one of the rising stars in the independent scene of the Bay Area. I mean, he made his name, and both my boys here are big fans of the Powerhouse and have mad respect for him. And we have all mad respect for him. But when he hasn't been presented in a light to even really be on the level of getting in the ring with Ospreay, unfortunately, again, it's not his talent or what he can do in the ring. He's an awesome performer. He has the talent to be there, but the way he's been presented, and the Battle of the Wheels is a cheap plug. Like, oh, look, I could put 2 wheels in the ring, call it the Battle of the Wheels, and then you just go, yeah, that's a mark. That's a mark booking. I'm sorry. That's. We're going to talk more about that because I know we have a lot to talk about there.
Sunday, I got ammunition, so we'll go there.
So that's coming up on Dynamite. We know SmackDown's going to be crazy. We don't know what the fallout of Cody and the beatdown that came out of Monday and The Rock being there. And we'll see CM Punk show up again on Monday Night Raw. Will he come up unannounced? Because they look at what they did with Punk and Rock on one show. I wouldn't be surprised, especially going into WrestleMania this close. And then we have the Hall of Fame this week, which is going to be awesome. SmackDown next week. And then it's a busy weekend for us. It's going to be a busy weekend. WrestleMania looking to be about 6 hours each night. So I don't know if that's with the first hour and then 5 hours of WrestleMania. And I know people are crying, going, "Oh, what is this? Is this AEW?" And I'm like, no, it's WrestleMania. It's the one time a year.
It's better.
The one time of the year we get.
Better.
Well, but it's the one time of the year we go, WrestleMania needs to be that 5 hours, that 4 to 5 hours. These other, there's like, WrestleMania needs to be 4 or 5. When we can accept 6 hours, it's long, but I mean, we expect that from WrestleMania. Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, and SummerSlam, 4 hours. The rest of them, 2 to 3, we're okay with it. It makes sense. We don't need to have every pay-per-view be 5 hours or 4 or 5 hours of wrestling like Tony Khan thinks we need. And this is, that's another thing. Tony Khan just does that, so.
The only other pay-per-view that can get away with long hours is Wrestle Kingdom.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Beyond that,
definitely yes.
No one else.
No, I think
late nights for me, just so everybody knows, I take days off of work for that because it's late.
I think Wrestle Kingdom in New Japan is probably the only promotion I could say could probably put on a 24-hour show and maintain its audience.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, they're about the only company that I think...
One night again.
Yeah, I think they're about the only company that could really put on a 24-hour show and maintain their audience. People would probably prep for that crap. I don't think anybody else can do that. But that's a different style and a different world of wrestling that just, it has a niche, it has an audience. But
beautiful stuff, though.
No, I know, but it doesn't. My point is, it doesn't translate into America, or at least Tony Khan can't translate it to present it to be what it should be. He again, it just Mark booking, I guess, is just what it's coming down to. When you book like a Mark, it feels like a Mark's booking it, and it just doesn't feel as big and important.
That's a shirt idea, Mark booking. That's a good shirt idea.
There we go. We're coming up with things over here. So we'll have to see.
She just called it too.
Well, I'm sorry. I mean, when you look at it, and you're just like, it's Mark booking. It's like, it's not, But we'll cover all that on Sunday. So be here Sunday afternoon at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I think we have a lot to talk about. We have predictions to make for WrestleMania. It's going to be a long Sunday, so just be prepared, Mr. Marathon Man. And I guess we'll be celebrating the survival tomorrow or on Sunday. If you survive this, if you achieve victory, then I guess we will give you your flowers. We'll give you a moment to celebrate. We'll let you be the Eddie Kingston of the value.
I'll have the belt buckle with me. Okay, I'll bring it on air. It's all right.
We'll let you be the Eddie Kingston of the value of wrestling, so you can have your flowers, and then we'll forget about it and move on to something else, right?
Well, damn. At least I get my flowers.
Oh.
Poor Eddie. Oh, poor Eddie.
Hashtag powder sniffing.
Well, and that's a whole nother subject matter that we can talk about. Mark booking in that one, talking about the Ring of Honor Supercard coming up next week in the ring, the Card of Honor, whatever it's called, Ring of Honor's Card of Honor. Yeah, there we go. And we have the Ring of Honor World Title being defended by Eddie Kingston against Mark Briscoe And I think there was a great tweet. I think you guys both saw it that I, agreed and said this was somebody with speaking truth, that Tony Khan dropped the ball and not building this story, not connecting the pieces to give this more flavor to make it feel important instead of just throwing it out there to go, oh, here we go. I thought that was a beautiful somebody. I forget who. I saw it on a tweet. I don't know if you guys saw that tweet.
Yeah, I seen it. I seen the tweet, and I was just like, he's got a point.
Yeah, he's got a strong point. He laid it out very, very poignantly, very beautifully, and you're just like, yep, solid.
Thank you, Tony.
So it'll be a good match in the ring, but I mean, it's again, the aspect is good matches in the ring, good matches on paper, great. But if you don't really give something that if you don't let it cook, simmer, I mean, do we just go in and just I mean, how many times do we really want to go into the kitchen and just grab something, throw it together, and go, okay, cool? That's usually when you're really tired and just trying to get through. If you want to sit down for a really good meal and enjoy it, you want it to cook and simmer. You want those flavors to mix into the air of the kitchen. You want to smell that cooking. You want to be getting that hunger on. When your stomach gets hungry, you smell that and you just keep getting hungry. You're just like, oh, when do I get to sit down and eat? It's like Thanksgiving dinner. I mean, Thanksgiving dinner would not be good if you just threw it together real quick, right? If you just went and bought a cooked turkey, threw it on the table and said, ooh, yay. It wouldn't be the same thing as walking into grandma's house and smelling all those flavors. You smell the turkey and the mashed potatoes and the sweet potatoes and the cranberries and the stuffing and all those things that mix in the air. But that's what we want. That's all I'm trying to point out. Is give me something to excite me, to get me to want to come take this, This is the metaphoric idea of how Tony, give me something to excite me. So, give me something to bring me in that want to be here for this feast.
Sunday. I hope he's watching Sunday because he's.
Oh, it's going to be a show on Sunday. It's going to be a show for sure, for sure. Anyways, we're going to be back Sunday with the weekly Roundup podcast. We'll be back Monday to cover Raw. Tuesday is Mr. Miguel C with your New Japan Pro Wrestling Rebound podcast weekly, talking about everything going on there. Wednesdays, Dynamite. Thursdays, Mr. Clarke gets you set up with the weekend preview. Friday, Smackdown. That's a list of shows. Dotted in, there's a lot of other stuff. Of course, every morning, we're getting real close to the midway point. This date in wrestling history, I think we dropped episode 177 today. Tomorrow will be 178. 183 will be the midway. So we're getting real close to doing it for 6 straight months. So let's get excited, and we will be back with all that. Make sure you ring that bell for notifications. Make sure you like this video, share it out with your friends, family, and everybody who loves professional wrestling. Give us likes. Let's boost this up. Make sure you ring that bell for notifications and subscribe to the Value of Wrestling. Hit that subscribe button. I promise you, at 1,000, I have some extra characters, so I think we can give away something. I have a Mark Calloway. I have a Jake the Snake Roberts. I got some big names. Let's see. I got a Sergeant Slaughter sitting over there. I got a Umaga sitting over there. That's an extra. Sid Vicious. I got a couple different versions of Edge. I got some Ultimate Stone Cold, Ultimate Ric Flair. We could definitely possibly do a giveaway when we hit that 1,000 mark, our first official giveaway.
They just celebrated today or yesterday Umaga's birthday, so I mean that'd be a good one.
I think that was today. I think that was
today,
today.
Yeah.
So.
But now I'm getting as bad as you. Wow.
That's all, folks.
That's all, folks. So, in addition to everything that Big Time just laid out, I actually have a couple of show ideas that I might add to the list. So definitely make sure that you're subscribed, that you ring the bell for notification and all that.
Oh,
we might even have more content pretty soon.
Well, and we're working really hard on that. I think we're going to bring you our own little, I guess, e-fed here very soon. I just got to find a good capture card to put that together. And of course, I got to set down. I have about 50, 60 male wrestlers and about 30 female wrestlers. So it's a lot of it's just creating it and putting it all together, which takes time. So we got that working in the pipelines. Of course, we're going to have our first, you want to be here Sunday, the first official music video. It's going to be fun. If you're not here, you're going to miss out. Yes, we will post it afterwards as its own thing, but it'll probably debut on the Roundup. So you definitely want to be here. This is going to be entertaining and fun.
Oh man.
And of course,
Is Marty
Mr.
singing?
Well, Mr. Clarke has also promised that 1,000 to do a Nana dance or his own Mr. Clarke dance, whatever we're going to call it. And I forget.
Kid.
Oh, and Mr. Z, I forgot you promised that 1,000 to do a shoey.
That's right.
Yes, I did, and I will do
So,
it.
we're going to do a giveaway. We're going to have some dancing. We're going to have a shoey. At 1,000, that also means I'm probably bringing some more content. Who knows? At some point, Marty Richards might make a comeback. We'll see.
Little by little, we're getting there, folks. Help us
Yes,
out.
we are. We are. All right, let's get out of here for tonight. Let me say goodbye, so long, farewell. Gentlemen, say goodnight.
Good
Have
night.
a good night, folks.
Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an